What if I told you your next big business idea already exists, just not in your industry? Because of this, no one else is doing it. And that's why it is a big business idea. So today we are going to explore the concept of cross-industry innovation, where you can look at businesses and products and services outside of your own industry to figure out how to create a product, service, or revenue stream to differentiate your business and have more business growth.
Inkyma's Marketing Strategies is a podcast for small business owners hosted by Audrey Kirchner, co-founder and chief marketing strategist at Inkyma, helping you navigate the world of marketing so that you can market your business in the right way, see growth, and thrive regardless of the industry you're in. To learn more about Inkyma and what we do, ask a question, or schedule a marketing evaluation, go to the website inkyma.com. That's INKYMA.com. Listen to the show on your podcast player of choice, the Inkyma website, or the Inkyma YouTube channel. Just search for Inkyma Marketing Strategies and you'll find what you need.
So before I get into the meats and potatoes of the episode, just a bit of housekeeping stuff. I'm going to talk about products, books, different things, and there's going to be links in the show notes. So definitely go check the show notes for this one. And then, of course, the show notes on the website, we always have the rough transcript in there so you can go back and read it when you want. When we talk about products and books and all these other kinds of things, we are usually partners with them because they are things that we use in our business to market our clients. And so I pass that along. We are affiliates with many of them, and we do appreciate if you use our links if you're going to buy a product, a book, a service, or anything, because it just helps us out, right? It lets us keep creating all this great, amazing content for you. Okay, so let's start off with a question, like I always do. What is cross-industry innovation? So this one is easy to explain, but it is a little more challenging to practice or figure out. It's one of those ones where the tip of the iceberg is maybe an inch, and then everything under the water, it just goes for miles and miles and miles. So the basic explanation, right? You look at other industries, see what they're doing, and can you adapt it to do something totally new and different in your own industry? There's different ways to look at this or approach it. Some approach it conservatively, where, maybe they look just a couple industries over. So I'm a service-based business. I'm going to look at other service-based businesses and see what they're doing. And then others take it to extremes, right? They look at things that look totally ridiculous. It's like, I'm a service-based business and I'm going to look at razor manufacturing and see what I can pull. So whether you go conservative or extreme, you definitely want to do this. A lot of it depends on your personality and, how deep in your business you are, how long you've been there. Your depth of knowledge is going to give you your comfort level of how wide and deep you go with this type of a concept. So go where you're comfortable, right? That's going to be the underlying theme when I move into the next section here. So I want to talk about business models, business design, business methodology. So you have industry categories. I'm a service-based business and I'm an electrician. But what I want to talk about are business models. How do you charge for those services? What do they look like? And so there's 6 different types. And within those types, there's a lot of different options to choose from. So one model is a maker model, right? You make things. Those making of things could be physical products, razors, shoes, coffee, glassware, homeware. And then there's knowledge and time systems that you can make, right? So things like your CRM system. Many businesses out there use a CRM system. Maybe they use a scheduling software. A lot of technology companies are actually just makers, right? So knowledge and time systems. Knowledge being I can share my knowledge and I can charge a service. And another one is certification and licensing systems. Many of you out there require certification and or licensing to do your job. And there is an organization that provides that. And that organization may charge you an annual fee. You might have to take CEUs and you might have to pay for those CEUs. That is actually part of the maker business model. Then there's the channels model, right? And a lot of us fall into this. We just don't realize it. We're in our channel. We're in our swim lane. So there's niche retail and service type businesses. These are predominantly where a lot of your local small businesses fall into. I am a shop. I am a cafe. I am a bakery, service-based business. I have a sprinkler system. I have pet care. I'm a chiropractor. And then you have the big spectrum retail or service businesses. This is where your franchises come in or your chain stores. So think of companies like Walmart or Papa John's Pizza, right? That kind of a model. The next model is crowd-based, which we're all familiar with, but maybe we don't think of it all as being like crowd, which is bringing people together under an umbrella and self-identifying that way. So multi-level marketing companies are crowd-based, meaning we're all selling the same thing, but we're doing it as a team. You're basically creating sales forces there. Membership clubs, things like Costco or Book of the Month clubs or those type of things, or even like Audible, where you're paying a subscription fee and then you're paying more into it. And then, of course, the first thing that people think of when I say crowd is crowdfunding, like GoFundMe, which is also applicable here. Payment models, right? This is another category of a business model. You have subscription-based payment models. First thing that comes to mind is Netflix. A lot of us use it. We pay for it. We consume it, but we don't own it. And then replacement products. You can do coffee, razors, massages, right? Once you're done with the massage, you feel great, but you need another one. Replacement products. And then the exchange model is a good one too. Buyer and seller marketplaces, things like Etsy. Transaction facilitators, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. You can buy things using their service, and then you can also collect payment from people using their service. And then another exchange model is dynamic pricing, such as Uber. Every Uber you take is not going to be the same. It depends on where you are, how far you have to go. There's a bunch of factors. There's not just this flat fee that every Uber costs the same. But wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, we'll shelf that concept for another day. And then the last one, number 6, is the assets model. You have an asset and that's what you're selling. So advertising is an asset model type of business. Google, one of their biggest revenue generators is advertising. So small businesses can sign up and use that platform to advertise to billions of people and they get a cut of it. Another one is reputation builders, things like when Angie's List for trade guys or TripAdvisor for retail businesses such as restaurants and hotels to help people find you. The list of these 6 models are in the show notes. I would definitely go and grab it. Take it, throw it into a Word document, because the way I want you to think about these is don't pick a swim lane. Don't say, I'm this, I'm that. What I want you to do is think of this as a Chinese food menu, and I want you to pick what most appeals to you and what's going to work for your business, whether you're doing it now or not. You can pick some things from that maker concept and then payment and then exchange, and then you can create a very unique business model for your business off of that. So I want to share an example of a cross innovation with you. I did a quick exercise on paper in my head, and this is what I came up with. So I started with Netflix, right? What is Netflix? It's a subscription model company. That's one of their models, is their payment methodology, monthly fee. And then their platform it's self-regulated. We sign up, we get access, we have 24-hour access, and we can watch whatever we want for however long we want. Their big thing is they just got to keep providing the content. If they want us to keep paying, they've got to provide something that we want to consume, which is the content. So the business idea I came up with is, what if I owned a restaurant space, right? It's got a kitchen, it's got a wait service area, it's got a place for tables and chairs so you can sit down and you can eat. A restaurant. But instead of opening a restaurant, right, what if I created a subscription service for usage of this space that's B2B for other people that make food, sell food, whether it's online, in person, for an event, and they can use an online scheduling system to schedule a time to use the kitchen, do what they need to do, and or the front of the house, right? They can be 2 different systems. I just want the front of the house for an event. I want the back of the house so I can cook something or bake something for my business. Or I could do both. Maybe I want to be a remote catering company, but I also want to offer a facility and not own the facility. So You charge that fee and they come in and use it. It's a really low cost of entry in this industry because if anybody's been in restaurant and food service, the cost of entry is so high and it takes so long for you to make money because of that. So this is a really great alternative for that, or even owning a food truck, right? There's even still a significant investment in that. So your job here is to offer that, make it easy, let them come and go. Don't regulate it too much. You got a set of rules. They stick within those parameters. And you keep the facility stocked with the right tools for what they're trying to do. You're not providing the food, but the kitchen is fully stocked. The dining area has everything you need in order to have an event or to have people come in. And then you can even have an add-on service that they can buy when they need to for food delivery and purchase from preferred vendors that you've negotiated pricing with. And the question that I started with here is, how can I take the Netflix model of self-regulation and use it in the food industry? I was just playing around with it. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. Just gives you an idea of how that cross-innovation can work. And if you noticed, what I did is I started with a question. I took some things and then I asked a question. And really, innovation or cross-innovation is all about the questions. So when we're doing cross-innovation like this, it's really an exercise in perception change and a little mental jujitsu going on there. And the best way to become more mentally flexible is to ask questions without trying to immediately answer those questions. That's where we fall down. We ask a question and then we're like, oh, we got to solve this. We got to answer it. No. The purpose here is not to immediately answer the question. It's actually to ask more questions. So Einstein is quoted as having said, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about that problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solutions. Asking questions is thinking. I put a link in the show notes to a book that I really love and enjoy, and I try to reread often when I can. It's called The Book of Beautiful Questions, and it talks about the concept of asking more questions in general, but specifically towards business innovation. So now I have a little exercise or question for you, right? I came up with an idea just off the cuff. It was fun. It was playful, kind of got my mental jujitsu going on. So here's one for you. So let's start with Apple. Whether you love Apple or you hate Apple, we all know Apple. Probably one of the biggest companies on the planet. And so they make products, right? They make phones, they make computers, they make tablets, but they also make all of the accessories for those products. Like when a product comes out, the accessories are like right there with it. And they're usually very good, right? Probably better than the aftermarket stuff. And we know that they always work. So things like the Apple Pencil, cases, keyboards, mouse, they don't just make a product, they build a suite. So here's my question for you, given that scenario, is what accessories or add-ons can you make or sell for your products or even for your services that you provide? So stop. Don't answer that question, right? What I want you to do is ask more questions, right? What would the client buy? Why would they buy from me? Why would they buy that accessory from me? What are the benefits? Do I have to make it or can I buy it from someone else? Can I wrap a monthly service charge around it? What I want you to do is, based off that initial question I asked you, don't answer it. Fill a page full of other questions around the entire concept. That's how you want to think about cross-innovation. It's a little bit simplistic, but I think it's going to work without having to get a degree in cross-company innovation. So we come to the part of the podcast where I give you some action steps to take so you can utilize the things that we've talked about. So I still want to do that here. And I think it's, again, still going to be more conceptual, but pick an industry that's not your own. That's the first thing I want you to do. I suggest you pick something that you like, that, you can spend some time researching, looking at, reading articles so you don't bore yourself to tears, right? Analyze them like they are actually one of your competitors. How many of us, I'm raising my hand, have stalked people in our industry just to see what they're doing? I always look at them to see not only what are they doing well, but what are they not doing well? Where can I shimmy in there a little bit? Then I want you to ask yourself a lot of questions about who they are, what they do, and what you think they do well and what they don't do well. What's their business model, right? Try to stack them up against those 6 different business category models that I talked about earlier in the episode. How do they make money? If it's something that's a little conceptual, it looks like it's all free, how are they making money? Who are their clients? Are they similar to yours? Are they different from yours? What makes them successful? What makes them unsuccessful if you're looking at someone who's not doing so great? How do they come up with their business model? A lot of the bigger companies, corporations out there, and Fortune 500 companies, they have a lot of articles written about them, even if they're a mid-sized company, just because people like to analyze and see what did they do to get to where they are. So as you're asking these questions and you're analyzing these stuff, if you come up with ideas, just jot them down, right? But don't dive down the rabbit hole yet. I want you to make a list, but I want you to keep going with the questions. From this analysis, you create a full page of questions for you to think about, and then look at all the stuff that you jotted down and make questions about those, right? Question these ideas that you had before you decide to say, okay, I'm going to try this, right? Because you may come up with more than one thing to try, and then you might have to prioritize these different things to try, but you're not hanging your hat on one thing. And more importantly, you're not just stopping at that one thing, because it could be the third thing, the fifth thing, the 10th thing that's the real magic that's going to take your company to the next level. So I would love to hear some of the ideas that you come up with from these exercises. You can either send me an email from the comment section of the website, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, put a comment in the video area. You don't have to give details if you don't want to, but I would love to hear them as part of this. So here are my final thoughts for you. This is a big concept, and I feel like I just pointed at the iceberg for you. We didn't even approach it. So I'm probably going to do a couple more episodes around this concept, these exercises, that kind of thing, to help you dive a little bit deeper into this subject. Because this type of thinking and doing is pretty mainstream, not pretty mainstream, but it's well known in the Fortune 500 industry, in these millions and billions of dollars of companies, and they spend a lot of money on it. But we don't talk about it a lot in small business, and we should be. We should be talking about cross-industry innovations within the small business community. And so I want to start changing that. I want us to start having more of those conversations. So break out of your lane and start thinking like a Fortune 500 company. Look at the competitors, look at other industries and see what they're doing. This is one of the things that we do when we start working with a new client, is we try to help them start thinking differently about their customers, their industry, their business model. And then if we do figure out something that they want to do differently and implement it, then we help them market it correctly in accordance with their brand and how they do all those things. So this is actually something that I just love to do. So if you want to schedule some time with me to talk about your business, talk about innovation, it would be great to do that. So here at Inkyma, we love to give back to the business community. I provide a 45-minute free consultation, and that's for you to talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about a cross-industry innovation you're thinking about, we can spend 45 minutes on that. If you want to talk about us doing your website, we can talk about that. It's your 45 minutes for you to get whatever you need. If you just have a comment, you want to share something that you came up with, definitely go to the website, inkyma.com. The schedule a session button is there, and also the contact form is there. So you can fill it out, share your comment with me. I'd love to read it. We also have all this great material that you can read through and share with other business owners. In addition to this podcast, we have the Marketing Masterminds blog, where we write articles, we create videos on how to use tools. We're going to be doing more visually stimulating concepts around stuff like this, because I know audio is limiting. So yeah, we're thinking of big things over there. So hopefully you found this episode useful and helpful to you. If you did, I know you know other small business owners that could probably listen to this or need to listen to this as well. So consider sharing it. Send the link in an email, point them to our website, point them to our YouTube channel, just get them there, because the reason we do this is to help all small businesses grow and help the entire community grow. And we need your help doing that. And by sharing the content, you're helping all small businesses. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day.